place the malaria program. These are busy business leaders. They will work and see how best to support, especially using scorecards, seeing where the challenges are and putting the money where the need is. The second one is innovation. And as you can see, we want to focus on prevention. And the issue of larviciding and indoor residual spraying is going to be very key. We want to deploy the technology. You can see there use of drones in Kilifi earlier in this year that was presided by His Excellency the President. So we are going to deploy this in a number of counties that have large breeding sites, like in Kisumu, Kilifi, and Kirinyaga. Then the other area, innovation, is rapid diagnostic test kit. With all the knowledge and expertise within our institutions of research, Cambridge has actually produced a malaria rapid test kit that was unveiled by the President in July this year. It is undergoing validation. It is scheduled to be launched in December, slightly over a month from now. It's just now undergoing validation. So that will be a big plus for us. Scorecards, we actually want to continue strengthening them so that they are used for advocacy, resource mobilization, and program improvement. We want to see this as really helping to improve program. And then we are keen to implement scorecards for NTDs and really go down to communities, as I said. For the Youth Army, His Excellency the President has directed that the youth involved in malaria activities in country be incorporated in the Kazi Mtaani initiative. And we are therefore going to enlist 3,400 youths from 16 counties with a high burden of malaria into the Kazi Mtaani initiative that is coordinated by the Department of Housing. So these are youths that are now going to get a stipend every month, and they are going to dedicate their time on a daily basis to support malaria control efforts across the country. So we will be coming back to you because we'll need to capacity build them, we'll need to equip them, but for the very first time, we have a complete army dedicated to fight malaria in this country, an army with a lot of energy, the youths. Now then finally, local manufacture, we are working, the End Malaria Council is actually bringing a lot of private sector players on board to look at how we really must start manufacturing the bed nets, the malaria medicines, insecticides and repellents, and larvicide in this country. Looking at the bottlenecks, we believe that this is not only going to help the efforts on malaria control, but create employment. So let me thank everyone, and let me really thank the people who have given us the results today. It goes a long way to analyze data, plan for such surveys. It's not easy. I understand. I've been there before. So I appreciate them. And then finally appreciate everybody working in the malaria control efforts, and assure you that the President in his current role as the chair is very supportive of malaria control efforts. He wants us to really go to the communities, as you can see him here, taking his time to actually control a drone and do larviciding. This was in July this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Willis Akwale, for that wonderful, very clear presentation on the role of ALMA in the conduct the next
Morning, everybody. Morning again. I know we have been sitting for quite a bit of time, so sometimes people get a bit tired, especially after a heavy breakfast that we've had today. The guest of honor today, who is not with us right now, but is available, and we'll be seeing her shortly, Dr. Mwangangi. Ambassador for Malaria, Wana Okara. Dr. Willis Akwale, who has just told us a lot about what ALMA is doing. Dr. Giduka, my colleagues, Dr. Ganatra, senior MOH officials. We have other arms of the government here. Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, the director is here with us. Dr. Awes, also who has been with us. Yes, I know Dr. Obodo is here. Representatives from the donors and partners, USAID, and I'll be naming them shortly, WHO, and who else? You'll forgive me because my eyesight is also failing me. Fellow colleagues, all protocols observed. Mine is very, very brief. I think today we've learned a lot about malaria, and it's exciting to note that the prevalence is coming down. It is really exciting because it tells us that the people who are going to die from malaria and are dying from malaria is decreasing. And if you look at the health policy in Kenya, by 2030, one of the first objectives of the health policy in Kenya is elimination of communicable disease, and malaria happens to be one of them. Last year in 2020, the country tested a total of 11 million people or tests, and 4.1 turned out to be positive. But the most important thing is that the numbers are going down. And also, malaria is no longer the leading cause of outpatient visits in Kenya. It's now number 2 after respiratory diseases. These are good news, good Kenyans. And the fact that the indicator survey is showing us that the prevalence has come down to 6%. I think if we pull together, if we walk this path together, we shall be able to push the level of malaria even further down, and by so doing, relieve Kenyans of the burden of suffering from malaria and suffering from any other disease that may be related to malaria, including anemia, loss of pregnancy, and so many other things. The path that the Kenya has taken, this country called Kenya, is clearly demonstrating that the results are coming out. And I think the team led by Dr. Giduka deserves a hearty clap. And without much ado, we recognize the fact that this cannot be done by the government alone. It's a sector approach. And for us to be able to go far, we are informed that we must work together. But if you want to work fast, you do it alone. But this country has taken the strategy of working with others. So you'll allow me to invite the representative from USAID to come and make a few remarks, because they have funded and they continue to fund a huge proportion of the interventions that take place in Kenya. Kindly clap for Bwana Washington Omomo. So the whole city of Washington is here with us. Please clap for him. Karibu Bwana Omomo.
Good morning, colleagues. All protocols observed. I would like to say that it's great on behalf of US government to be here. and just basically as a demonstration of a strong strategic partnership that the U.S. government, through a Presidential Malaria Initiative, that is being implemented by USAID, CDC, and the U.S. Department of Defense. So we are truly happy to be here, just to see the results that are being presented. It will allow me to take some time to just highlight for you some of the key points that I'm expected to speak on behalf of the U.S. government. So we would like to take this opportunity really to congratulate Kenya for the great progress that we have, my voice can be, oh sorry, that we've made in curbing malaria. The new survey, the KMIS, surely does demonstrate that we are making very, very good progress. We're on track to end malaria, if only we were to come together as we've done in the past. We are seeing that overall, the prevalence of malaria is down now at 6%. The US government, through very strong strategic partnership with the Kenya government and other key stakeholders, are determined and continue to be committed to eliminate malaria by 2030. We are aware that in some counties within the country, we are already within the reach of eliminating malaria. While in some 19 counties, within malaria is completely under control. But in other counties, we are still facing some challenges. And for US government, in partnership with the Kenya government and other stakeholders, these are the areas that we are going to continue to target with both resources, technical assistance, involving private sector and all other players to make sure that we achieve the vision that our president has set for us to end malaria by 2030. The US government has supported a variety of malaria interventions, ranging from prevention, diagnosis, and treatment, through the Presidential Malaria Initiative. And we know that for sure that initiative is currently being implemented by USAID and CDC. And that partnership really continues to demonstrate great strides, great results for the country. Since 2006, the US government, through Presidential Malaria Initiative, has invested a total of about 50 billion Kenya shillings. We have helped to distribute about 20 million insecticide-treated nets. We have protected more than 20 people through IRS, that's indoor residual spraying. We have delivered more than millions of malaria rapid tests and fast-acting medicines. But besides that, besides just the ITNs, the spraying, and the treatment, the US government, through CDC and the US Department of Defense, the AUTHORITATIVE, continues to invest in research and evaluation of various tools that will help us curb malaria and achieve the goal of eliminating malaria by 2030. One key example of that is the vaccine that has just been validated and cleared recommendation by WHO. The trials for this were actually done here in Kenya, in Western Kenya. And we are so proud with the work that KEMRI and other stakeholders are doing in Western Kenya to put Kenya at the global map of trying to end the malaria. And the fight to eliminate malaria continues, and we are determined that that will end. As US government, through CDC, USAID, and US Department, we are very happy to present the survey today because we know we're part of funding it. And through Global Fund to fight AIDS, TB, and malaria. We believe that success can only be achieved if we have policies and strategic programs or interventions that are informed by evidence. The KMIS is one of such key sources of data that will help us evaluate the policies and develop new ones and drop those ones that are not working, and also to readapt our implementation strategies so that we can be able to achieve very good results and continue to eliminate malaria by 2030. We would like to pause and basically thank really, very sincerely, about 8,000 people that, despite the challenges and the fear around COVID, took part in this survey and made it possible for us today to present the results that we are talking about today. So we can't take that for granted. So really, I think for USAID, CDC, and US Department of Defense, we believe in strong strategic partnerships. And it's only through this that we know that we actually eliminate malaria by 2030. We know for sure that as the survey indicates, that there's an overall decline in prevalence, but the endemic regions within the country still have challenges with this. For US government, in partnership with the Division of Malaria and other stakeholders like WHO, we believe that this terrible disease will ultimately be defeated only if we join hands together. In this fight, we don't want to let, just as Dr. Kwela has told us, to let or leave private sector behind. We know they have a role to play. And for US government, USAID, CDC, and US Department of Defense, we are taking very strong and deliberate steps to work very closely with the private sector. And we know that if they start manufacturing some of this, the medication and even the test kits, for sure we'll be having a sustainable response to fighting malaria in the country. But not just that. We believe that communities, local organizations are also key in the fight against malaria. And therefore, our work together with them, investing in their capacity, building their capacity, we believe will help us fight this. We are very happy with the Kenya government for the launching of the Kenya Malaria Youth Army by the President. Again, we know that youth has a key role to play in other development areas, but more so in the malaria prevention. The youth are key to our investments, and we'll continue working with them to end the malaria. As the saying goes, if you want to go far, fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, then work together. That is the strategic partnership that USAID, CDC, and the US Department of Defense is keen on, and would like to make sure that we expand it, we sustain it, and until we achieve the vision of ending malaria by 2030. We thank you, and we really, truly appreciative of the leadership that the President has shown through his being at the forefront in fighting malaria. And from the US government, we would like to assure him and all players that help him work on malaria of our continued commitment, support in ending the malaria. Thank you very much, and looking forward to working with you. Thank you.
Agencies, through you, the Ministry of Health and the Government of Kenya values the partnership that we have with the USG, and I think we walk this path together, so together we can still go far. So thank you very much, and continue supporting us. We are still toddling, but yes, we are picked up, as you can see. It is now my pleasure to introduce the acting WR, the World Health Organization, Dr. Juliet Nabioga. That name sounds like it comes from somewhere around Western. But I hope that one of these days we will also get more of these people within our region. WHO is a major strategic partner in Kenya, mainly as a technical player. And of course, when WHO speaks, it is not speaking with a minority voice. The voice, Karibu Daktari. Please applause Dr. Juliet.
Yes, thank you so much. Senior officers from the Ministry of Health, the Kenya Bureau of Statistics, partners here, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the press. Thank you so much, and good morning. I should say, habari za asubuhi. Indeed, I'm from Eastern Kenya. Yes. I'm so pleased to be here and really to listening to the good work done and the progress made, the control of malaria in this country. And this event marks a great milestone for the country. The country's response to malaria, which is a big public health problem affecting vulnerable people, we really value evidence. And it's good to see the data from the malaria indicator survey, the scorecard from at the national and county level, because we really advocate for use of evidence in planning and decision making. Ladies and gentlemen, the World Health Organization recognizes that countries, including Kenya, have made significant strides in the fight against malaria, and we've just witnessed that from the results that have been presented to us this morning. And on this, we appreciate efforts made by the leadership of this country, the government of Kenya at the different levels, the National Malaria Control Program, to achieve important objectives articulated in the country's National Malaria Strategy, 2019 to 2023. The WHO's updated Global Technical Strategy for Malaria clearly advises that country ownership and stewardship is critical for an appropriate response. And again, advises the evidence-based approaches to be able to tailor appropriate malaria intervention mix to ensure targeted and optimal malaria response. Indeed, today marks that day for Kenya that has shown that stewardship that has resulted in the generation of strategic evidence and data for use in the fight against malaria. We've appreciated this morning, and of course the progress reports that have been shared and the annual reports, and of course the scorecard at the different levels of the system. Ladies and gentlemen, malaria remains a big problem, and globally in the year 2019, we registered over 200 million cases and over 400,000 deaths, and 94% of these were in sub-Saharan Africa, Kenya inclusive. And what does this mean for us? We need to work harder. We need to reinvigorate our efforts, mobilize more funding streams, and support all aspects of the National Malaria Strategic Plan to enable acceleration of efforts towards malaria elimination. We are all pleased to see the progress and reduction in prevalence, uptake of interventions, but I think we need to again remember that moving from where we are to take it to the end will be even harder. We need innovation, we need commitment, we need more resources. We are lucky in that we have the strong commitment of the head of state himself, and I think that is a very good contribution to the efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in congratulating Kenya for the tremendous achievement made in the fight against malaria. Again, we appreciate the strong leadership on the different fronts to accelerate efforts towards malaria elimination as per the resolution of the 74th World Health Assembly, the resolution of the 74th World Health Assembly. WHO lauds the establishment of the End Malaria Council and Fund to mobilize resources for elimination of malaria in Kenya, and the launching of the Zero Malaria Starts With Me campaign by the head of state, Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, and all partners who are here, who have supported initiatives. And some of these initiatives have helped us to mobilize resources from the Global Fund. I want to reiterate the commitment of the World Health Organization, ladies and gentlemen, that will continue to support strengthening of leadership and coordination on critical interventions for impact. We will support country efforts at the generation and use of strategic information for decision making, including research. We will provide technical assistance, build institutional capacity, we will strengthen partnerships, we will support resource mobilization efforts to ensure integrated implementation of the Global Technical Strategy for Malaria and the Global Vector Control Response Plan and the Global NTD Roadmap. Again, I want to congratulate Kenya and all malaria partners for all these achievements, but also again to remind that we have even a bigger challenge ahead of us as we move towards elimination. Thank you so much.
WHO, I think she deserves a much bigger applause than that, because WHO has and continues to stand with Kenya, supports Kenya, and we also listen to Kenya, and WHO also listens to us. Thank you very much. Continue being a friend. It's now my pleasure to invite the Director General for KNPS, Mr. McDonald Bodo. Remember, the work that we've done is also based on the whole government approach. And Kenya National Bureau of Statistics is the custodian of some things that made us possible to achieve what we have achieved. Karibu, Daktari. Please clap for him as he walks to the podium.
Just allow me to remove my mask. I'm actually fully vaccinated. But if there is a third dose, and I'm advised to go for it, I will. I'm McDonald Jojo Budo, the Director General at Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. So I'm here representing the organization that has been partnering with the Ministry of Health and all the key partners in this. I'm actually also doing so as a stakeholder in the sense that when you saw the presentation there is the region that has the highest prevalence of malaria. And that is the Lake region. Actually, while at home, we get our domestic water right from Lake Victoria. So that tells you why I'm representing my area also in this, because we are hard hit in Kenya. Well, the national prevalence is just 6%, our case is 19. So quite serious, but there is hope at the end of the day, because each time it has really been going down, and we appreciate that. So colleagues, all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my very interest in this, that today we are now launching a report that has taken a bit of time to compile. And it is actually at a time that the country requires a lot of data. COVID-19 has taught us a lesson that resources can really be very scarce. And so when we have any single coin, you really want to have it invested in an area that would give you the best results. And so when we have such kind of results, then we know, or we would know really what proportion of our resources can we inject in elements that deal with malaria. And of course, the very particular interventions that would be useful to this nation. So the findings will actually go a long way in ensuring that this pandemic or endemic keeps on going down. Now, we have been partnering with the Ministry of Health, and of course, there are several other key players, among them being the USAID, and the technical support that was given by ICF International, of course, courtesy of the USAID. And with that, it has really enabled this exercise to be a success. We have always partnered with the Ministry of Health, not only in malaria indicator survey, but several other studies that we have done over the years. But specifically about malaria indicator survey, This we started doing way back in 2007. Then we came to 2010, 2015, and now 2020. And all those series, I'm actually quite happy that I've been part of it. And each time, as we have seen, the trend is going down, which gives us great hope as a nation that the programs and interventions that are being put in place are actually bearing fruit. And that is a great thing to really appreciate about. Now, the Bureau, in terms of the support that we have been giving, is partly technical and also providing the national sampling frame that the survey has always been undertaken. I think the last one was done in ASEP 5, which I think this is one of the major surveys that have been undertaken in it, and that should be really the end of that, the lifespan of that particular frame. We are actually currently developing another frame which has better features than what we have had before, and we believe that going forward would be able to support more of the this kind of activities of data generation, particularly those that are health related. And so we are really delighted about it. Now, one thing that I would really mention about malaria indicator survey. Way back in 2007, when we started the first one, there was the use of some technology which was just different from paper. That's the first time that personal data assistant, the PDAs, were used. And all the subsequent surveys or the series of malaria indicator survey have actually taken that step and progressively moved to the level where we are today. But particular interest that I'm drawing from that is that that is also the first time that as a Bureau of Statistics, we benefited from data collection that was somehow digital. And we picked it up from there and ensured that our surveys have now been taking that direction to the extent that we were able to conduct even a census which was fully digital. No wonder today we are still able now to support some of the health programs, because the tablets that we used in 2019 census, we are now giving them out to be used for monitoring of the COVID-19 vaccination process. I think either yesterday or if that did not happen, then today we are giving more of the tablets, 4,900 tablets to the ministry, after having given 1,100 earlier, so that we are able really to deal with our vaccination properly and ensure that they are fully recorded. So that is courtesy of the process that somebody somewhere, when we were doing 2007 malaria indicator survey, came up with an idea, which we picked up and we have moved with it. So I'm really delighted about that as a country, we are making very, very good progress. So going forward, and in fact in another front, this is not the end of the data that we are generating from the survey on malaria indicator survey. But we are also now, we have taken a module in the forthcoming demographic and health survey, which we plan to undertake from the beginning of next year, so that we are still able to get more data that will be able to inform the policymakers more, because this one was done towards the end of 2020, and now the survey that will be done in 2022, somehow a span of 2 years, will still be able to give us more data. So we would progressively get more information that we need to continue using. And that would actually be very, very helpful to our nation. I do not really intend to say so much. Of course, there are a number of other programs that we are undertaking together with the ministry. But at this point in time, I would really thank all the institutions and organizations that have contributed to this activity, because it is not a very easy one to manage. Undertaking surveys are not very easy. And when we get to a point where we are now dealing with the launch, then it means that there have been a lot of efforts behind all that for us to achieve this kind of success. I would also finally thank the survey team. I remember the first time I was meeting Dr. Githuka, they came to my office with Madam Christine. Christine, I'm about to call you Christine Malaria because it has been in your heart. So the first time actually I met Daktari was when we were planning for this survey. And that time, there were a lot of restrictions, and we were not very sure if it was really possible to do it. So the long range passed by, and my colleague, Mr. West, mentioned that the survey was delayed. But they insisted that, can we get a window of doing this? We were looking at it and not seeing really the real possibility of undertaking the survey. But an idea came that, no, we can also use the short range to have it done. So Christy never gave chance. And Daktari, together with Christy, thank you so much, because if it were not for your insistence and trying to look for all the ways, we would not be here to celebrate the good results that we are seeing today. So could we have, yes. Thank you so much. And with that, colleagues, I would really want to thank everybody and wish you a good health as we now use the data that we have. We are just going to get from this report to make our country a much better place to live in. Thank you all. So there's one thing. So actually, Dr. Sitene has kept on calling me Daktari, and of course we have a new way of doing it as Daktari. I'm not yet there. My line might be taking a longer route to be called Daktari, but hopefully before end of next year, I'll be a doctor. Thank you.
Dr. Udo, he's really told us quite a lot, and we partner with the KNBS as a ministry because of the surveys that we carry out. And of course, we all appreciate the role that KNBS is playing as a custodian of the sampling frames in the country called Kenya. Thank you very much. It's also gratifying to note that we are, and this I work with him directly, in terms of collection of data, because my directorate deals with health data. And the partnership that we've developed by them giving us the tablets has enabled Kenya to leapfrog, and you are sure that the data that you see in Chanjo KE that is read every other day is partly because of the assistance that you've received from KNBS, and you're also working with them to begin the demographic health survey that has partly somewhat delayed, that is kicking off early this year. And of course, data so that Kenya can have the right data to make decisions based on data. 3D, data-driven decisions. KNBS plays a very big role. So it is now my humble and privileged position to introduce our chief guest today. Our chief guest is the Chief Administrative Secretary in the Ministry of Health. We have Dr. Mercy Mwangangi. Please bring our hands together to welcome her. She'll be participating virtually and will be able to launch the malaria indicator survey results today. Welcome, Dr. Mwangangi.
Thank you so much, Daktari. I have been listening online and I can see there's a title, the Daktari title. And so I'm happy to join that title as well. as we continue advancing our titles. Let me begin by thanking the teams who are present today, physically at Windsor, the partners who made time to be here today, all the teams who made it possible for us to have this meeting today. It's my great honor to present our cabinet secretary, Mr. Kevin, who would have wanted to be with us, but is engaged in other official duties. And today, as a Ministry of Health, we're quite excited as we launch the results of the Kenya Malaria Indicator Survey that was conducted in 2020. Malaria, as we all know, remains a major health problem in Kenya, and the government of Kenya is seriously committed to controlling malaria, as evidenced by the multiple strategies that have been implemented to eliminate the disease. Some of these strategies we are well aware of. We have vector control, which is a big component of this, and interventions such as the ICM. We have issues that touch on design preventive treatment during pregnancy, into spring and insecticides. We have case management for malaria in children, surveillance, ME. And today, what we are here to launch the value of data is role in research. The Kenya Malaria Indicator Survey is one of the key performance monitoring tools that we periodically use to provide an in-depth assessment of malaria over time. I'm pleased to note that this is the third KMIS survey that is being undertaken, and I think it is important to really appreciate the partner and we continue to provide support for this, USA and PMI, noting that the previous two were in the year 2010 and 2015. In order to ensure that our program, that the resources are located in the best way possible, monitoring and evaluation of malaria programs is essential. And data from this survey is one of the key mechanisms that provide evidence of the reduction of morbidity and mortality caused by malaria throughout Kenya. When we look at the period of November through to December 2020, I'd like to thank and congratulate the teams of interviewers traveled throughout Kenya, visiting households, interviewing women, testing children for malaria and anemia. We are grateful. More results from the survey tell us that among pregnant women living in targeted areas, 89% in the labor areas, women who could sit in the coast and endemic zone receive 3 or more doses of testing faster. These data make a clear case that we had success, but we must continue to work hard against malaria. The work does not stop here. We must use this data to prioritize our funds and programs to make progress on the indicators measuring the outcomes of malaria programs, but also their impact on fighting malaria in our country. Let me take this opportunity to thank the partners who supported the study, USAID, US President Malaria Initiative, PMI. We thank these agencies because they continue to support us and allow for us to do the work of Kenyans through malaria control interventions. I would also like to thank ICF for providing technical assistance in conducting this survey, and a special thank you to the Division of National Malaria Program, all the champions within that division who made it possible, but of course our partner, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, for their hard work, for their agility in utilizing the data and in helping us make this possible, and their dedication in ensuring that we have this report. I thank all the other partners also in the room. I take note of WHO, I take note of AMREP, I take note of all the other partners, Gavi, and everyone else who continues to support the malaria program within the country, including World Vision, including UNICEF, including Humanity War, the time in supporting this program. And so at this juncture, I would like to request to now declare the Kenyan Malaria Indicator Survey of 2020 report launched. Asante.
Thank you very much, CS Dr. Mercy Mwangangi, for your kind comments and for launching for us the Malaria Indicator Survey. It is my pleasure now, because in absence I will take up to the next level to invite a few people here so that we can do the celebration bit. Kindly, Dr. Juliet, Washington, Obodo, McDonald, Ganata, please come in front here. I hope somebody is streaming this to the CS so that you can see her work going ahead. Karibuni hapa. Mujipambe hapo. So you can see in front of us, we have the book here, 20 Malaria Indicator Survey Summary Report. It's now my pleasure to hand over copies of this report for reading, dissemination, but more importantly, for using the information contained therein to make informed decisions. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. I hand over to Dr. Kiduka.
Thank you, and as we come to the end, allow me to introduce Dr. Elvis Oyugi, under whose unit within the Division of Malaria Program. Okay, I think as Dr. Elvis is coming, to be able to give a vote of thanks. Welcome, Dr.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Dr. Kibuka. I would like to provide a vote of thanks on behalf of the Division of National Malaria Program. I would like to thank our chief guest, Dr. Masi Mwangangi, for finding time to launch this KMIS 2020 report. I would also like to thank KNBS, and the Director General is present for the technical support and guidance that I provided throughout the conception, data collection, and even the analysis of the report. I would also like to thank the PMI and the USAID and the implementing partners for the technical support, and also PMI for the financial support together with the Global Fund. We also appreciate the efforts that were made by the DHS program, the Demographic Health Surveys program. We've been able to work together with them throughout this journey, and they've been able to provide for us a very good technical support in terms of data analysis, report writing, development of the dissemination products. And actually, immediately after this launch, the KMIS report will be available at the DHS website, and also the DNMP website, and also the KNBS website. And the data from this report is also going to be made available to the public in all those organizations' website. I would also like to thank my DNMP colleagues who've been a part of technical working groups and have been able to also work with us throughout this journey. Special thanks to ALMA, AMREF, Malaria Normal UK for being able to attend this meeting, and also to the media, but also not forgetting the healthcare workers who have continued on a daily basis to make malaria data available in our health facilities and in our Kenya Health Information System. Lastly, I want to thank the field data collection teams for the good job that they did, and of course the community members for allowing us into their households, for agreeing to participate in this survey. Thank you very much. I would like to hand it over to Ambassador Okan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This brings us to the end of our session today. Kindly pick a copy of the survey as you leave. The books are at the back. Asanteni sana. Have a good day. Thank you.
Well,